Welcome to the monthly video where we rank the games we just played.
And we're gonna rank them in 3 different categories. For example, if we want to keep the game, that's gonna go into my collection.
Or friends collection if we like the game, but we're okay of not owning it.
Or if we're not smart enough to appreciate it, it's gonna go into the other collection.
So on this note, let's move on to the first game we're gonna talk about, and this is one of the heaviest games we have ever covered. Welcome to my tale of Sir Sonch, this old fella with a monkey.
That's a lot of stuff.
That is a lot of stuff because it is a big board game. This is actually a game from the authors that made one of my favorite board games of all time, Eon's Trespass. And here it's kind of the same story. This time we're in Middle Ages and we try to figure out the tales of certain knights. Mostly this is a story game because you will choose which knight will go onto his quest, then open up his storybook and read what you need to do. First phase of the game is traveling through the world and opening and discovering new locations, and then maybe fighting some monsters. Second part of the game will be fighting these monsters by rolling a bunch of dice and setting each other up, because the actions that you do by playing out cards, moving around the board and attacking will make some openings or set up other players, so it is a cooperative game. The best thing about this game is the storybook. I think it's the best writing in board games. For me, I always reading these feel like I'm inside of the world, I'm part of it, and I love it. The writing is just as good as it was in Eon's Trespass, and that was my favorite thing about that game as well. The worst thing, well, 100 pages of rules.
Lots of words, a lot of reading before you actually get to playing.
In other words, it's a super difficult game. One of the most complex games I have ever played things to and with. So I have played only around like 20 hours, so not a lot. I mean, it's a lot for a board game, but not for this one. And I want to explore it more. I'm excited. I think it's a better version of Eon's Trespass, and I like that game already, so it's obviously in my collection.
One of your games is like half of the pile that we brought or played this month. But let's move on to some reasonable games, okay?
What do you mean? That was very reasonable. It just took me forever to play and try, and haven't really started.
Yeah, well, while I'm saying that, kind of reasonable, it's not out yet, and it's not going to be out for more than a year. In this game, you're playing one of 4 factions that is distinctly different, with different actions and different ways to score points. Because yes, the goal is to get 25 points. This game is like a living, breathing organism, because whatever I do on the board is going to affect whatever you do on the board. For example, Robin Hood is going to give the money to the poor, to this village. But the sheriff and the bishop, as an action, is going to take that money for themselves. When different factions meet on a space, they're going to fight, and fighting is done with cards and dice, but the results for each faction is different. For example, French are these loyal noblemen that just duel other players and score a ton of points when they defeat heavy enemies. So the best thing about this game are how asymmetric the factions is. Yes, that's not new, but how they interact on the board. Everything I do will affect you. Well, the worst thing about this game is it's not out yet. I know, that's crazy, but it is not out yet, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. So, there's luck, there's interactions, it's highly asymmetric. Where would I place it if it was out? In my collection.
Let's pick the pace up with some car rally games. Vroom! And this one is actually more about strategizing, building up your card and team rather than racing itself.
So no vroom vroom?
There's plenty of vroom because there are these stages from which you can get victory points, but in general, the thing is about card play and dice rolling. First thing that happens is you roll a bunch of dice, then place them on correct spots, and then you can use those same dice to activate cards that fit those dice. For example, right here, to activate this card, you pay with a 5. But at the end of the round, all these cards will switch places. On your turn, you can play any cards on any of those spaces if they are free. So where to place those cards? Well, that's a very strategic decision. At the beginning of the game, you will have very basic cards, but during the game, you will be able to buy cooler things for your card. I really like how puzzly it is, because every card roll and usage as well as card play feels very strategic and important. The looks are amazing as well, but the thing about this game is there's not a bunch of interaction because you're actually doing your own thing, playing your own cards, playing your own dice, but you're not interacting with any other players at all. It looks really nice.
Does?
It's super crunchy and puzzly.
Okay.
But
Uh-oh, there's a but.
I feel like I would place it in Friends collection. Top of the Friends collection, alright?
So you would just visit that friend to play that game?
A lot.
Railroad Link, do you remember such a game?
Yeah, love it. I have it.
Oh yeah. So it's gotten bigger, and it's not a roll and write anymore. In Railroad Tiles, you're building your little bustling city with the pedestrians and cars and trains. How you do that? You do that by taking one of these lines of tiles and adding them to your board. For example, like this and this. Great, right? And now there's going to be a car here. Why wouldn't you take all the tiles and add them to your city? Well, at the end, all the open ends are gonna, makes sense, are gonna give you minus points. Tons of minus points. Best part of this game is selecting one of these lines with tiles. Some of them will come with victory points, some of them you need more than others. There's always a choice of them. The worst part about this game is it's not too deep. There aren't many new things in this game. You just add tiles and score points. It's fine. And I like to keep my okay games in my friends collection. Well, which was it gonna be? Huh? Ooh, you pinched a good one there.
Pinch here will be trying to steal stuff and hopefully be the only one who steals that stuff, because if multiple people steal stuff, then you have to share, and burglars don't like to share. There are 5 houses you can steal from, and each have different treasures and different powers. So if I'm the main burglar, I just have to play one card which symbolizes the house I want to steal from. But now it's your turn, my friend, because all other players at this point will try to guess which house I'm gonna steal from.
This one.
So I'm gonna steal from the yellow house.
Totally guessed it first try.
If you guessed it correctly, which he didn't, but let's pretend he did, we actually share things. I get one thing, you get one thing, and so on. But if I was the only one going to this specific house, I get all of that stuff, and all of that stuff give you victory points. Best thing about this game by far is just the reactions that you get from people when they guess your house where you're moving or doesn't, and you're the only one going to a certain place. And also I really like how different the houses feel. For example, there are hidden paths right here, there are dogs that give you bonus points, or certain super expensive painting waiting for you. The bad thing, that's just kind of about it. There's a lot of setup for the game, for a generally super simple fun party game. If you have set this game up, I'm playing, which means it goes into Friends collection. It's really fantastic and fun. I really hope one of our friends will have it, because I'd love to play it from time to time.
What a small pile, so tiny. Well, tiny pile, tiny game. In FlipToons, you're trying to get 30 coins. If you do, you win the game. On your turn, you will flip 6 cards. And those cards will give you the fame that you need. And some of those cards will have special abilities. For example, this will jump on top of the previously placed card. So I have more room to place different cards. And I will continue doing this until I've flipped 6 cards. Then I will check if I have 30 coins. The newly bought cards go straight into your deck, and the cards you used previous round also go into the deck. So each time you will shuffle them and reveal 6. So you really want them to combo off each other, so you have more cards, stacking them, replacing them, and things like that. The best part about this game is the surprise of flipping these cards out. You're like, I know I have 2 of these and I hope they come up in correct order, and when they do, it's amazing. If they don't, it's sad, but you hope it's gonna happen next time. The worst part is it's a simple card game with tons of random. Sometimes you'll flip them in a better order and sometimes you will not, and that might decide the winner of the game. Well, I expected to love this, and I did. I've played it a ton of times this year and can't wait to play my next one.
But will we love to play this game? Let's find out. A Carnivore Did It is a deduction game with very simple rules. You just have your suspects right here, and each of them will be telling you something. For example, the shortest culprit is telling the truth. And based on the scenario that you are playing, and there are tons of those said scenarios, you will know if any and how many of them are lying to you. So the game is generally this: you staring at the cards and trying to figure out if he's lying, then these cards should be telling the truth, which means that this guy might be the guilty one. What's really cool is there are tons of these scenarios, and each of them are a different puzzle that will always make sure you move your brain muscles. Are brain muscles a thing?
Yes.
Well, not for me, but in general people, for sure. The bad thing is that there's no player interaction. It's kind of cooperative game where you all blankly stare at the cards and try to figure out. So it's actually a really good game and does what it sets out to do. But with that said, it's not very aspiring because multiplayer was not that great and solo game was good, but I have like Planet X, which has better theme and also the same thing that burns my brain.
From one small card game to another small card game, with a wholly different theme, mechanisms, and literally nothing like the previous one, except the size.
Good segue.
Yes. In Naishi, you are trying to get different kinds of people into your kingdom. And like any board game, those people will give you victory points. This is my kingdom. All these mountains and this hand. And all of these mountains give you negative points. So I want to get rid of them. And each turn I will be able to do that by getting cards in the same position. And the order of the cards cannot be changed. So if I want this card, it will go in the exact same space in my hand. So this game is exactly that. You're going to be managing your hand and your kingdom with the positioning of cards. Because once the game ends, you will score each of the cards. And there's plenty for where they are, what next to each other they are. That sentence didn't make sense, so I'll try again.
No, it made sense. No, we're keeping it. Yeah, we're keeping it. We're keeping it.
So, geography matters. Not the best thing about this game might be the luck of the draw. It's always the same case with the cards. So how I feel about this game is in the name. It's very nice. So it goes into my collection. I love these little card games with crunchy decisions. Well, at least for a while, after my wife refuses to play with me because either she beats me too many times or I lose too many times. Is that the same thing? Did I just say?
You said something about tiny games with crunchy decisions, right?
Yeah, I did.
Oh boy. That's the definition of this game. The biggest selling point of this board game is that you can play it in the palms of your hand. Except they're really slippery, so I would not suggest it. But you technically could. First thing that happens, you will slide this card and see what kind of challenge is in front of you. And then, to defeat this challenge, you will play out the cards. But it's really important in what order you play these cards, because some of them will give you strength, some of them will boost the other card, and some of them will do other trickery. Then, based on your success or failure, you will either lose cards or downgrade them, or flip them and upgrade them. So you fulfilled this challenge? Well, now draw these same cards and do the next challenge that's underneath here. You do this challenge, draw these cards and do the challenge that's underneath here. Until the deck ends and you meet the dragon. And you need to defeat that one too, before you kind of run out of cards and life. So it's definitely really cool to have these crunchy decisions and quite heavy game in this tiny box. It's the strongest point of this game. Would I buy it?
Would you?
I don't think so. Except if I'm in a situation where it's very convenient. I think it's one of the most convenient crunchy board games out there.
Let's end this on a joyride. Full throttle. In Joyride, you're trying to be the first one to go around the track a certain amount of laps. In this game, you will choose a gear, roll some dice, and move your car, and be careful about maneuvering it, because you can't do a lot of it. You will go over checkpoints to get unique items that will let you destroy other cars. You will slam into other cars, pushing them out of the way and messing up their turns. You'll use unique powers that let you do handbrake turns, switch more than one gear, and all kinds of cool stuff. And once you go over the finish line after 2 laps, you win. This game is full of chaos. It's like Janis said, it's one of those old arcade games where you're riding around, slamming into each other and just having a good time. Bad things, there are some dice rolls, and some of the items maybe are better than the others, so, you know, random.
If you want a clean racing game, you can check out Heat. It's kind of Formula 1, while this is like Demolition Derby.
Yeah. All those games where you would ride and smash into each other and get power-ups. It's really fun. It's joy to play. It's full of chaos. It's, well, I guess it's in our collection, right?
It's in our collection.
So this is a classic month for me, because out of these 5, 4 are mine.
All right. So you can start eliminating. Which one would definitely is not game of the month for us?
Well, I can't put this in because it's not out yet. Right. Let's talk about this once it is. I'm excited to try it.
This is the same?
Yeah, but there is a Joyride game out.
Then the only game I haven't played is this one. So would you be okay with flipping this one off?
Yeah. This one too. Right. I mean, it's nice, it's simple, but game of the month needs to be something epic with cars and driving. And so, does yours have cars? No, doesn't.
Can't argue with that one.
No, Kingdoms of Forlorn is definitely, this is like close runner-up, but this is an epic experience.
And also subscribe, because we're probably going to talk about this game in the future, and when I play like 100 hours of this, we'll actually gonna review it or something.